Right there.
Hey, what's up?
I got a couple questions on you next.
Okay.
What made you want to train salespeople?
Oh, what made me want to train them?
Mhm.
Well, in about 1995, I started noticing a lot of salespeople coming in and leaving and quitting, because they couldn't sell, or the manager would take them in the office and give them a quota, say, hey, you gotta sell so many cars. And so what I did was I started creating a system to where the salespeople would come to me and they would ask me to help them. So I just started selling a lot of cars, and then next thing you know, the guys would come to me and say, hey man, I see you selling a lot of cars. Can you help me? I said, yeah. So I said, come in about 8 o'clock. You have to be here at 9. And what I'll do is I'll start training you. And so I started training guys from 8 to 9 every day. And what happened was after, about a week or so, they started selling a lot of cars. Actually more than what they were selling. And another guy would come to me and say, hey man, you work with this other guy, John. You helped him, and then another guy. And so every morning I would have probably 4 or 5 salespeople sitting at my desk, and I would train them. And it made me kind of want to go out and read more, so I would give them more information and study more. And so I didn't want them to get bored. And then I started going to different dealerships, started selling to other managers. They started asking me to train other salespeople. And so one day a guy said, man, you can do this for a living. And so, a couple of years later, I had an idea to write a book. And I actually was just writing down my thoughts and different experiences. I didn't know it would turn into a book. And after a while, I had like 80 some pages. And, I let some people read it. And they say, hey man, you sell this book. This is good stuff in here. And it was just different experience I had, just being creative. And after I decided, okay, I want to sell a book, then I started putting together different programs. Some of the things I did, teaching people how to overcome objections, how I was prospecting, and I was getting people to come in, and it was different. Because what I thought about one day is I said, okay, I actually want to create my business kind of like a doctor's office. When you go to the doctor, you get there at whatever time, you got 10 other people waiting. So you got to sit there. And so I wanted to create my car sales. When I came to work, I would have people wait on me. And that's what I actually did. And so I developed a system now that I teach it. And I show people how to have a business. Don't matter what type of business you have, whether you're cutting hair, whether you're selling cars, whether you're selling furniture, you're in real estate. You get to the office and you have constant people coming in. And so what that's called is attraction marketing. And making yourself like a magnet, where you got people coming to you. And most people understand, well, how do I do that? And I say, well, that's inside of my training. I'll show you how to do that. Because it's not one thing you do. It's a lot of different things you do. And all of those things together will make people come to you. Will you make you and your business stand out. And one thing you have to understand is you have to learn how to sell yourself. And once you learn how to sell yourself, people buy whatever you have. And so with that being said, I can train anybody selling cars, real estate, TVs, furniture, tennis shoes, cell phones. It don't matter.
Why is your training different?
My training is different, basically because, I deal with not just the product you're selling, but show you how to deal with the human psychology of selling, the theory of selling, all aspects of selling. And basically what that means is, when you work for a company, they're going to hire you and train you on how to sell the TV, how to sell the laptop, how to sell the cell phone, how to sell the tennis shoes. But they don't train you on the person. See, you taking a person and they're selling to a person, but they don't teach you how to sell to the person. And you're not going to be just selling this TV to the wall. You're going to be selling it to a person. And so that's what I teach you how to do. How to build rapport, how to sell yourself, how to make yourself higher in the person's mind better than anybody else they've ever talked to. Where you're not interested in just the product, you're interested in the person. And so it's a saying that goes like this: when you become interested, you become interesting. And so what I did over the years, I became interested in the people, not just selling them something. The product was secondary to me. I became interested in selling that person or me. And once they bought me, then they bought the product.
Can you train anyone or just car salesmen?
I can train anybody. I started what I did was I started going to the mall and telling myself I own the mall. And what happened was I would walk into different stores and just look at what they were selling and how they were selling it. And telling myself, so okay, if I own the mall, then guess what? I need to make every store successful. And so I would pick up the, the vibratory state of the place, if they had music, if they didn't have music, if they greeted me, how they treated me, and things like that. And so with that being said, I started studying every business from A to Z. I started studying plumbers, electricians, barbers, hairstylists, attorneys, car dealers, furniture salespeople, real estate salespeople, because I was dealing with different people in different times of my life, but I started studying them. And I started going online and reading books on how to sell what they sold better. If you cutting grass, how do you cut more grass? If you're a barber, how do you cut more hairs? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're in real estate, how do you sell more cars? And so I can train anybody because everything is selling. You're either selling an idea, a product, a service, or an opportunity. So if everything is selling, and I understand sales, I can train anybody in any industry.
Well, what made you decide to write a book?
To write a book, well, like I said, I had the idea, just writing things down, like taking notes of things I've done just to help salespeople, So when somebody asked me for some training, I could say, hey, I did this, just so I wouldn't forget. And so I started writing kind of like a journal, just writing different things down, writing. I fell in love with writing. And then what happened was I started breaking it and separating it down into different ideas and different chapters. And then it just evolved into a book. I had the idea about 2005, but I actually didn't finish the book fully until about 2012, 2013, because, I didn't feel like I was ready or the book was ready. I wanted to develop more, I wanted to learn more, and then once I developed more, I started experiencing how to learn more about myself, being more self-aware, and being more self-aware, and then being honest also. I put all of that into the book. So the book is 20 chapters because it actually took me about 20 years to come up with all of these ideas and strategies and techniques and philosophies.
Did you get good grades in school? Did you like school? Did you even like school?
No, I didn't like school, but I didn't get good grades. I had friends that, got good grades, and I always wondered why I couldn't get good grades. But I never really focused. I was always looking out the window or looking up or playing or doing something other than doing my work. I didn't take books home. I didn't study. I didn't do my homework. But when I found out, I was a C student, and the way my mind works, it took me years to figure this out. My mind is, I'm more left-brained, and also I'm more right-brained, So being left and right-brained like that, I'm more creative and I'm more analytical. So I didn't think I was really analytical because I wasn't analyzing books, because I didn't think schoolwork would help me be successful on a job. How is the president and prepositions and grammar and all these science symbols going to help me on a job? So I wasn't focused on it. But I found out, down the road that school was teaching me how to be more disciplined and organized, and focusing on trying to figure out what I really like. That's why they had so many different subjects. And so with me, I didn't get good grades, but I always knew I was kind of good at whatever I did. And so what happened was when I found that I was smart, my grandparents said, hey, if you go to college, we'll buy you a car. That changed my whole idea about books. I started liking books then because I wanted the car. I focused on the books because I wanted the car. Then when I got to college, I found out I was actually smart because I got better grades in college than I did in high school. I didn't know I could study and get good grades. But they didn't want me to get straight A's, so I was good with that as long as I passed. But they knew if they told me to go to college, I would find out I was smart. So it was something more than just a car that they were trying to get me interested in. So did I get good grades? No. Did I like school? No. But now all I do is read books. I didn't like school. Now I speak at colleges. I speak at high school. I didn't ever think I would be doing that, but I do it now.
That's it.
That's it. So what you got out of that?
I got a lot of it, like what you went through, become who you is now, and who you are now. You can help me. And
so what do you need help with?
As far as life, as far as who I'm becoming a young adult, you can help me with that. because of who you are, who you came up. And
So what you gotta do now is start calling me and asking me questions instead of calling me and asking for money. Think you can have that? You see, if you call me and ask me questions, you can make your own money. You ain't gotta call me and ask me for no money. I can call you and get some money. I like that too.
so
All right. You say